Well, Fridays are always good, but a Friday with rosé, don't mind if I do. Welcome back to the show, Jake.
Thank you very much.
Of course,
glad to be here.
Always happy when you show up. The whole building is happier.
Thank you.
When Celista Winery rolls in. Of course, you're the owner.
I am, along with my wife,
You and
Mark.
your beautiful wife, yes.
Yeah. Well, my wife had a dream, and you know, she went and bought a 160-acre farm, and we had retired, and so we had to do something with it. And she said, "Why don't you start a winery?"
You
and
thought
here
you
we
had
are
retired.
Today.
Turns out you were just starting a whole new career.
We were, you know. We came from Yellowknife, Northwest Territories, and you know, we'd been in business before and other occupations. My wife was a social worker in her early life, and then owned an art gallery in Yellowknife, a big art gallery. Yeah. And then when we started to look around for a place to retire to, she was familiar with Shuswap Lake, and we came down.
Came back to the promised land.
And yeah, and we found this 160-acre piece of land. Wow. Nothing on it, so we had to do everything.
Amazing, and began the dream that ended in rosé today.
Well, yeah, rosé today. That's a good point.
No, it's very talking. We need to make shirts that say rosé today.
That's a nice saying, isn't it? Rosé.
Before we move into the wines, I'm curious, with all the smoke in the air, how does that affect a winery?
It does. You know, and in our case, and in most wineries, it's a double whammy because with the smoke cover, you know, it cools the air down below. Right. And when we were expecting 31 degrees with sunshine for the past 2 weeks, yeah, we haven't had a lot of sunshine. Wow. So it will delay the maturation of the wine or of the grapes.
Does it mean the grapes stay smaller without that heat?
No, they'll swell okay, but you just have to let them hang longer.
Just slows down the process.
Yeah, the second thing, of course, is that the smoke can get into the skins, and it's just going through what we call veraison. That's when the grapes turn from a little green pea into the color. Like in our case, we have red grapes that turn deep purple, and in the case of white grapes, they turn yellow and orangey and so forth. And the smoke can get into it. Now, one of the fortunate things is that we're not on the doorstep of the forest fires. Right. You know, it's still 100 miles away, but over time, all that smoke can get into the skins, and then you have to deal with how you do the processing of the skins of the grapes itself.
So it changes the process.
Yeah, and what you do is you have to take it off the skins fairly quick, otherwise the smoke taint might get into the juice, right? So you just you speed up the process, like it's not sitting on skins. For instance, the red sits on the skins for 2 to 3 weeks. The white's usually 24 to 48 hours, and you shorten everything. And with red, we're now debating whether we should take it off the skins right away so that it doesn't have the same contact with the seeds,
the skins. Smoke is complicating lives everywhere, including wineries. But today, we have a rosé that is uncomplicated.
Yeah, right.
What are we tasting today?
Well, it is rosé, and I brought it specifically because I thought it'd be great to talk a little bit about the background of rosé. And, you know, it's becoming extremely popular again. Like everywhere, people are starting to say, I'd like to try your rosé.
It's always been a favorite of mine. I love a rosé.
Well, because it's very versatile. And it goes with a lot of foods. You know, it goes with seafoods, poultry, ham, pork, chicken, lighter pastas, mostly light pastas, but as well, it's a great sipping wine. Yeah. You know,
and
hot
it's bright
summer days.
And it's light, and for someone like me who struggles with a heavy red or a thick red, this is such a nice option. Absolutely,
you know, and so, and of course you get a variety of rosés. You can get different colors. You can go from, you know, a pink color, light pink, to a deep purple almost. And ours is kind of orangey red.
It's a beautiful color. I really like the color.
Yeah, and the color makes a huge difference, I think, with appeal to people. So anyway, it's becoming extremely popular, where it went out of vogue for a long, long time. The popularity came from a Matus out of Portugal, and it came in a little brown bottle, pardon me. And everybody drank Matus because it was cheap and high alcohol.
There's some logic for you.
Exactly.
Should we try it while we talk?
Okay. Absolutely, yeah. And so, and in the past decade, everybody's gotten back into the into rosé, and rosé has become fast growing. And sorry, I'll give you a little more there. Don't need to be.
That's okay. We still have half a show left, so don't worry about that.
That's right.
We're truly sampling.
Right. So, and it can be made in various ways. You know, you can make rosé as a still wine. You can make it as a sparkling wine or semi-sparkling.
Okay. So tell me, what should I be tasting for in this?
Yeah, and you notice it has a tremendous fragrance to it, you know?
It's very aromatic.
Yeah. Now, this particular one is made up of a couple of white wines. That's cheers.
And
it's Ziegeriba, Gewürztraminer, Ortega, with a little bit of Marshall Foch. And the color comes from the Marshall Foch.
That is lovely.
Thank you. Oh. Yeah, it's excellent. We get really great reaction to it.
It is excellent. So what year is on this bottle?
This is 217. The vintage is 217. So the vintage means that that's the year it was picked, the grapes were picked in, right? Okay. So then you make it over the winter, and then it starts to be marketed the following spring.
So for someone like me who does not love a lot of bite, this is pretty much the perfect rosé. Thank you so much for bringing it in. We look forward to having you back.
Thank you very much.
Celista
Appreciate
Winery
being here.
Always happy to have you. We'll be back in just a moment with more Midday.